Hi, this is Gary with MACMOST.com. Want to find the largest items in your photos library? I'll show you how to do it. So a frustrating thing missing from the Photos app on your Mac is the ability to find the largest items. Sometimes if your drive is getting full or maybe your iCloud storage, you want to find what's taking up all the space. Maybe you've got some very large videos in your photos library. Maybe you've got a bunch of raw photos that you forgot about. It would be really useful to be able to sort by size, but you can't. If you go into all photos here, you can go to view and there's sort, but you can only sort by date. And there's no way to even use a smart album to do it. You can't do anything here to say find items that are larger than a certain size. Now, if you want to do something really quick, you can, for instance, look under media types and just see your videos. Those are likely your largest items here. You could also look at things like live photos or panoramas or perhaps bursts or even raw photos here to see those. So you can figure some things out, but you can't really get a picture of what are the largest items in your photos library. And to make it even more frustrating, you can actually tell the size of an item. If I select a photo like this and click here to get info, it'll show the size. And I can even go to another item here and I could see the sizes here. So you can see the size. There's just no way to sort or find the largest ones. And I know some people that resort to third-party apps for this or dive down into the package that is the Photos library to actually look at the files there. But you can actually just create a very simple shortcut to do this. So I'm going to start here in the Shortcuts app and create a new shortcut. I'm going to call this Find Largest Photos Items. And the first thing I want to add here is something for the Photos app. I'll search for photos. There it is, Find Photos. So I'm going to double click on that and it'll add this. And I want it to find all photos. Next, I'm going to search here for filter. And I can filter files. Now you may think, well, these are items in the Photos library, not files, but the filter files action works on more than just files. So I'm going to double click to add that. And it's going to immediately link to the previous action there, and it's going to try to filter the photos that come out of the first action. But I'm not actually going to filter them at all. I just want access to this sort by. I'm going to sort by size. But wait, there was sort by up here in Find Photos. But if I look at this, there's no size here. I can sort by width and height and date and all sorts of things, but I can't sort by the size of the item. So instead, the first action is just going to get everything. The second action is going to sort by, and guess what? You can sort by file size here. So I can sort by file size. I can do order, biggest, first, and I'm going to limit. I'm not going to return a list of all of my photos. I'm not interested in most of them. I just want to know which ones are the largest. So I'm going to set a limit to 25. So I'm going to find the 25 largest items coming out of my photos library. By the way, if you find these videos valuable, consider joining the more than 2,000 others that support MACMOST at Patreon. You get exclusive content, course discounts, and more. You can read about it at macmost.com/Patreon. And that's actually going to return a result if I just run it here in Shortcuts. But I can't do too much with that result. I'll run it here, and you can see it works pretty quickly. And the first item in there is a video. If I look at the list here, I can see there's a video, there's a photo, another photo. These are going to be the largest items sorted with the largest first. But I can't do much with them right here. I want to be able to see them in the Photos app so I know what I can maybe archive or get rid of. So I'm going to look for album here, and you can see I can create a photo album. I'm going to double click to add that, and I'm going to create a photo album named Largest Items with the results here. Now, every time you run this, it's going to try to create the same photo album with the same name. So I'm going to do something a little clever here. I'm going to put a space and then parentheses, and I'm going to control click right there and insert a variable, and I'm going to insert a current date. And I'm going to set this to date format short, time format short, and you can see the example here. So it's going to put in parentheses this, which means every time I run this, it will name the album largest items and then with the current date, and then I will put a close parenthesis after it. So that way, if I forget to clear it out, it won't just add these items to the previous one. Now I'm going to run this, and it's not going to take that long to run because it's a sample photos library and it's not that big. But I did run this on my regular photos library with more than 40,000 items, and it took about 10 minutes to run. So this isn't the kind of thing where you can expect instant results. You want to set this up, let it run, go for a coffee break, or come back the next day and expect to find the result. So it's finished now, and you can see it will output the list anyway, but I don't really care about that. I'm going to hide shortcuts and go back to photos. And if I look in photos here and I look under albums, I could see there's the album it created, largest items. And it put the 25 items, 24 photos, 1 video here in this album. And it named it just like we expected. Now, if I were to select an item here and get info on it, I could see the size. So I could see this is 23.6 megs. The next one is also pretty big, 18.8 megs. It happens to be a raw photo. You can see that here. The next one is 17.5 megs. It's not a raw photo, but you can see it's a panorama. So it's a lot of pixels. Matter of fact, 13,000 pixels across. So it did a really good job. As a matter of fact, if you look at the sizes here, that's 17.5, 16.6. If I use the right arrow to go to the next one, 16, I can keep going with the right arrow. And notice that it actually took the sort order and built the album that way. So not only am I getting the 25 largest items, but I can tell what the largest one is and second largest and all of that. I actually get a sorted list here in this album of my largest things. And remember, this is just an album, so it's kind of like a playlist. I haven't added anything at all to my photos library. I just added this album or playlist of items that are already in my library so I could just see them grouped together. So now I could decide what I want to do. For instance, I can select an item here and I could drag it out or do a file and then export the original for it. I can select several of them, like maybe these 3 panos can be saved to some files and not stored in my library anymore. And I could do that with export the unmodified originals. And then once I do, I can delete it. Maybe there's one that I think, well, I don't need it at all. Maybe I don't need this one. If I just press delete to delete it, it will actually just remove it from the album. So it's still in my library. But if I go to image and down to the bottom, you could see I've got delete is remove one photo from album. But command delete or selecting this item here actually deletes the photo. If I select that, now it's actually gone out of my library completely. Well, it's actually here in recently deleted, but it will eventually get out of there, or I can empty recently deleted later on. Now you can modify this to only look at certain types of items. So I can add a filter here and I could say I want the media type is, and I could set it to an image or video. So if I only want to see the largest images, I could select this. And now my results will only be images. This video won't be included. Or if I know that the videos are going to be the big ones and it's what I want to get rid of, I could switch to video. And now I could see the 25 largest videos and get them in size order so I could deal with them. Or if you want, you could do something like date taken and have it be, say, 3 years. So if you've got a lot of recent items that you may want to deal with, but you know anything older than 3 years is going to be fine, then you could do it this way. This will reduce the number of photos that come in from the first action, making it easier for the second action to sort them. And your results then won't necessarily be the largest items, but be the largest items from the last 3 years. So there's a lot here that you can do to further customize this. And note, you don't have to add this as a pinned in menu bar or as a quick action or in the services menu or anything like that. This is a good shortcut to just have in your shortcuts app and then just run it from here when you need it. So if you want to find the largest items in your photos library, I hope this helps you out. And in addition to that, I hope you learn a few shortcut skills. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, click the thumbs up button below to let me know. I publish new tutorials each weekday. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out.